Well, here we are back after 24 hours. First oil up is Rotella T6 5W40, and the same oil after baking 24 hours at 450. That was a bad start. Let's try it over. And that oil has lost or gained 20% viscosity. That is not very good, but then Rotella is generally only good for cold temperatures since it is only a 5W40. Next test is Mobil 1 1550 car oil. And it has gone the other way. It has lost about 15% of viscosity. So we're down negative 15% in the viscosity. I'll load up two more and be back. Okay, for this test, we have the Mobil 1 2050 V-twin oil, and the same after baking for 24 hours at 450. And basically it is still the same viscosity as it was when it was new. Now here is Silcoline 1550, and the same after baking for 24 hours. And it would appear that the Silcoline has gained about 5% in viscosity. So I'll be back in a moment, load up the VR1. Okay, here we are for the last oil in the test. This is Valvoline Vr1 2050, and the same after baking for 24 hours at 450 degrees. And we see just a 10% increase in viscosity. It would look as this oil has slowly been oxidizing throughout the test. To give you an idea of the color or oxidation of the oil after this 12-hour test, here is a light transmission test. and that is the mobile V twin oil, and it does let a little bit of light through, not very much. Here is the Valvoline 1550. It certainly lets a little more light through than the mobile, so that's impressive. Here is the Valvoline Vr 2050. I would have to say it lets more light through than either the mobile one or the Valvoline. Here is the mobile one car oil. It is completely black, allows no light through. And here is the Rotella T6 5W40. It also is completely black, allows no light through. Okay, as a recap, after 24 hours at 450 degrees, the VR1 2050, after 6 hours, it gained 1% in viscosity. After 12 hours, it gained 5% in viscosity. After 24 hours, it gained 10% in viscosity. And both before and after the test, it allowed the most light to pass. The Mobile One Auto Oil 1550. At 6 hours it gained 2.5%. At 12 hours it gained 5%. At 24 hours it lost 15%. And it was completely black. I would not call it suitable. The Mobile One V twin oil. At 6 hours, it lost 15% in viscosity. At 12 hours, it gained that 15% back and went back to 0. So at 12 hours and 24 hours, it tested the same viscosity as the fresh oil sample. And it was number 3 in the light transmission. It was dark, but it allowed light to go through. So the Valvoline 1550. At 6 hours, it gained 4% in viscosity. At 12 hours, it had gained 5%. At 24 hours, it stayed the same. It's still 5% thicker than the original new sample. And it was fairly clear after the test. It would be number 2 in light transmission. Then we go to the Rotella 540. At 6 hours, it had gained 2.5%. At 12 hours, it had gained 12%, and at 24 hours it had gained 20% in viscosity. And it again was completely black and allowed no light transmission. I would not say this is suitable for high temperature either. So I may have to change to Valvoline. I'm liking what I see here.